Hey, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody is doing great since the last time we've been here on the show. And I know quite a bit's happened in our community since then, and I know we've laid a member of our community to rest. So I would like to say farewell to our friend Wade, and just to kind of give him an awesome send off. So I was fortunate enough to get to go to see him one last time. I spoke with his wife. I spoke with his son, his father, a few other members of his family, and all great people. And I was really glad that I got to do that. It was definitely a good experience. Wade had already always told people, I would love to meet motivated one legger one time before, and although I didn't really get to do it while he was here, I kept my promise to him and told him that I'm still going to try to get to see you. And that was my version of keeping my promise to Wade, you know. Um, so there you go. Godspeed, Wade. We love you, brother. I'll say hi to everybody coming in real quick. We are getting flooded all of a sudden. Deerfield, how you doing? Jeff Bice, my brother, good seeing you. Witch from the past, always good seeing you. Janie AR-15, how you doing, my dear? Bell, there you are. Let's see. Cowboy, there you I thought I saw you. All right. So for tonight's show, we have a really, really cool guest. Somebody who I reached out on, like I said, I reach out a lot on these groups, these amputee groups and stuff on Facebook, that kind of stuff. Hey Jen, how you doing? And just, I put out a flyer that's like, hey, I do this show, and it's basically just trying to bring, it's kind of spotlighting our life a little bit, and ironically, spotlight on amputee series, but it just kind of more or less spotlights our lives and kind of shows people a little bit more about it and that kind of stuff. What I do here on the channel. And she responded back, and she was super stoked and wanted to come on and talk to you guys. And I was super thrilled to have her. So without further ado, I want to welcome tonight's guest, Miss Tami Conlon. How you
Hi
doing?
guys, how is everybody?
Good seeing you.
And my heart goes out to Wayne and his family. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, yeah. He was a good one for sure. He was definitely a good one. Chainsaw, hey, how you doing, brother? Nitro, good seeing you. Ralph, Red Dog, all the good folks are coming in now. Okay, okay. So, how's your day been? You been doing all right today? Everything
It's
going
been
good?
okay. It's been a little difficult. I've been having some leg issues, but hey, I mean, as an amputee, who doesn't?
Right. What's going on? Everything okay?
um, I'm trying to get fitted for this new leg, and it started a little bit of a pressure sore right in the knee area because I'm a below the knee amputee,
Mm-hmm.
and so had to take a couple days off of work. You know,
That's always
but
fun.
yeah, but luckily I've got an excellent prosthesis doctor, and he's just wonderful. So
Good, good, good. So sound like you got a really good working relationship with them and everything. Like you can
yeah,
just call them or go up there and they'll be like, "Yeah, we got you."
yeah, the whole front staff know me. So I'm just shout
Nice.
out to Adrian and Barnhart Prosthetics in Springfield. Thank you
There
so
you go.
much for everything. Mwah.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, people that want to give their people props and stuff, I'll link that in the description. So get with me after this, and
Okay,
I'll get all their info, and that'll be in the description of this too. So
because anybody
um,
in my town, they're super good.
nice. Yeah, this show and channel is sponsored by Bulow Prosthetics, but they totally don't mind like putting other people out there because I mean Bulow's not everywhere. So
Thank you, Bulow.
Thanks, Matt. We love you, brother. Damon Conlon, how you doing, brother? Good seeing you. Uh, Dirk's Cabinet Door, good seeing you. All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you join us one leggers?
Okay, well, let's see. So, when I was 12 years old, I
Hmm?
decided that I was evil Knievel and learned how to drive Hondas and things like that. And I lived in Southern California. and I'm not sure how in detail you want me to get with my story, or if you want me to just kind of graze over the more gory details, I can totally do that.
I mean, it's really whatever you're comfortable saying, you know. I mean, you can pretty much whatever you want to put out there, you know. I
Okay.
mean, my crowd and stuff, they're used to that kind of stuff, so it doesn't really bother anybody as far as, you know, if you wanted however you want to word it.
Okay. I was driving a 750 Virago, much bigger bike than somebody my age should have been driving, of course. But my hand slipped off the gas and the handbrake, the handbrake.
Mhm.
And because I was all sweaty and I hit the accelerator and I jumped this yard into this lady's or jumped the uh, curb into this lady's yard, and my leg got caught between her brick planter and the motorcycle and it severed it, and it was just hanging by some meat and skin. It had cut completely through the bone and everything.
Oh,
I got really
wow.
lucky though, and that was the only damage that actually happened to me. They took me to the hospital. They took a vein or an artery out of the other leg to see if they could save it, and they're like, oh yeah, we saved it, it's great. 3 days later it collapsed. They had to take it anyway, which I have to say, being the age I am now, I'm so grateful they took it. Because I
Yeah,
can't, having to do that much rehab for so long and then constantly being in pain would just be too much, I think. So I'm glad
yeah.
they took
And imagine having to do that at our age. You know,
it.
when we're young and virile, it's a little bit different. You can do all those push-ups and pull-ups and, you know,
I
all
wanted to
those
go
like
play.
yeah, exactly, you know, but now oof, I mean, I'm 46 years old and man, I couldn't imagine having to go back through everything all over. I mean, I would, you know, I totally would if I
Right.
had to. There's no doubt about it. But oh my God, man, that would be whew. Janie, how you doing? Yankees, good seeing you. Tyler, my brother. Dana, hi there. So wow, okay. So with that, I mean, being that young and stuff, did you do much like physical therapy and that kind of stuff?
It
'Cause I
was,
figured you kind
back
of
when
bounced back being younger.
I'm 41 now.
Mm,
So, being 12 back then, therapy wasn't really that, I want to say, um, not that it wasn't advanced for its time, but the the actual therapists that I were assigned to were not as open minded as I thought they should have been at the time.
gotcha.
And being a kid, you're telling me, well, you're just not trying. Well, trust me, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah,
I went to 2 therapy sessions and said, I'm not doing this anymore. The lady was very rude and not understanding, and, didn't have the first concept of what it would be like to lose a limb, let alone try to tell me I'm not trying. And so my dad, looked at me and he said, as long as you walk, he goes, I won't make you come back. And I basically did it on my own, and along with my actual prosthetic doctor instead of a physical therapist, which I do not recommend these days. Please don't think that I'm saying that all therapists are bad. That's not what I mean.
right, right.
I'm just saying, for my particular situation, it didn't work out well.
Yeah. Well, times have changed and there's been advances and that kind of stuff and more training and money has went into it. So it's definitely a lot different ball game. That's why whenever I asked the question, I was kind of like, I would imagine probably not a lot was available back then. That's why I was saying that because I was like, you would think there would be some, but I mean, not a whole. It's just kind of here's your prosthetic, walk it off, you know, at a girl,
Yeah,
you got it,
kind
you
of.
know, slap you on the
Yeah.
back and walk out the door, you know, and that's not too far off right now. What a lot of physical therapists try to do, they're just like, you know, here's your copay, have a good day, y'all have a, you know, take care. Oh,
Right.
you can't walk still? Just give it time, work with it. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, work on it at home, okay? Work on it at home, and, you know, I come here to work on it, you know, I don't I can do that at home, that's free, you know, obviously work on it at home, you know, I mean, that yeah, that you got money though, then, hey, that's a different story.
Yep.
You know
It's
how that
true.
works.
It's true. It's sad, but it's true.
Yep. You said you had a pretty good working relationship with your prosthetist and everything, your leg now that you have, is it mean, you good to go? You like the leg you have and everything, the
Um,
components that you got?
well, I like I've always had the pin, the pin locking mechanism. I have the what is it? The Echo Helen excuse me, ankle. So it has that where it kind of tilts with you as you walk. Love that. I love the
Oh,
lock and pin. My problem is my weight. I will jump dramatically 25 pounds up or 25 pounds down. So I'm
fluctuating.
constantly in this flux of trying to, too many socks, not enough socks, and so and I work as a CNA. I am actually, a full-time caregiver in a
Wow.
field facility. So I'm doing transfers, I'm doing, things like, Hoyer lifts, things like that. That's constantly 8 to 12 hours on my feet that whole time.
Concrete floors, tile floors
Concrete
too.
floors. and,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry,
Solid slab.
those really nice squishy nursing shoes that they're always talking about, not going to throw any names out there, do not work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're
So
sponsored by Vans over here, so we use Vans and only Vans. Everything else can whatever.
so
We
I
don't
mean,
care about
I've
anything
had
else.
a year of trial and error of every brand you can think of, and finding something that will give me the nice solid good support with that little bit of squish has been quite difficult.
Yeah.
So
Um, after this, get with me, and I might have some options for you as far as
ooh,
some really really comfortable shoes, because Vans does put out a lot of. They're not just skateboarding shoes and that kind of stuff. A lot of people think they're just flat sole skate
yeah.
shoes, but they're not. They have hiking shoes, like I mean, all kinds of stuff. Adaptive footwear that have the zipper up the side.
Ooh,
So if you
okay.
look at their site, they have yeah, I can help you out on that. So
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
yeah, so get with me after this, and we'll work that out. This will be boring to everybody else. So, but yeah, so yeah, we can do something for sure. To I mean, it won't be like free shoes, but it'd definitely be a huge discount. So hey,
That would
whatever.
be amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
exactly. So, but yeah, Deerfield asks here, are boots comfortable? Mm, it all depends on what kind of boots you have. Like if you had cowboy boots or something like that, I mean, it's all a matter of it's gonna feel weird under your prosthetic. Any kind of hiking boot or anything with a big hat, like heavy, chunky sole.
Any type of heel, it depending on how dramatic that heel
Yeah,
is really dependent on how comfortable that shoe is, because you
yeah.
got too much of a heel and you don't got enough of an incline with that ankle, then it's
Well,
just going to push you forward, and
yeah.
then you're going to
You're
be stuck where you're, walking, with
yeah,
your knee pushed forward out, and that's not comfortable. And not to
exactly.
mention you look a little funny.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Is it's you need to be stuck like straight out. My
Mhm.
old leg here. You're straight out, but walking like that constantly on that toe, just on that tippy toe like that, is going to be it's gonna constantly be rocking your knee forward every
Yeah.
time you go to take a step. So it you might be all right, but it's still your hip would be so worn out by the end of the day. So, it
Your
is what it is.
shoulders would ache. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because everything all works in conjunction with your hips, your spine, all the way up into your shoulders, into your neck. So if any of that's thrown off, you'll be messed up for days. That's why it's I always tell everybody if you feel any little twitch or tinge, like any kind of sign of pain with your prosthetic, go back. Go and
Go be
call them.
seen. Yes.
Yeah, because it is important. You need to be able to put it on, walk out the door, no problem, just like you put on your shoe.
And if you
You
have a
know.
good prosthetic doctor, if you have any sort of good quality prosthetic, they
Mhm.
will look at you for free. They'll just like come in, let me just look at it. They'll consult you for free.
Oh, for
A lot of
sure.
people, a lot of people won't go in because they're like, I can't afford it. I can't afford the doctor visits. I know a lot of the prosthetic places will comp that visit. You
Yeah.
know, you just got to go in and see, and there's no reason to be living in pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine, I can literally, I mean, if they're open, I can drive over there. I'll just
Mhm.
drive over there, and it may not be, "Hey, welcome, Josh. Come on in. Let's go back here and take care of you and throw roses on the floor." It's not that, but they'll be like, "Let me see your leg," and they'll take it back there and like hold it
Mhm.
and be like, "What's wrong with it?" "Oh,
Yep.
you got this problem with this knee? Okay, I'll be right back." And they'll come back out to the waiting room with your leg. Just be like, "Here, try this." And
Yes.
right there in
Yes.
the waiting room, walk back and forth and be like, "What do you think? That good?" It's like, "That's perfect." And they're like, "All right, cool. Have a good one."
That's
And,
exactly.
that is, oh my god, that's worth its weight in gold right there. Just having those people you can call on and be like, "Hey, I got this. I don't really wanna bother." They're like, "You're not. Come on in." And it's just like, "Thank
Yes.
you guys. I love you guys so much." Let's see. Tyler had a question here. Let's see. I have a question. How hard is it to process uh, the actuality of getting a prosthetic? Oh, process of actually getting a prosthetic. I heard at times it can be super difficult. With insurance, I
I
mean,
yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about, the actual process itself, or are you talking about the logistics of, like, the insurance, the doctors,
yeah,
okay, I mean, if you're talking about documentation, it can take months.
right,
Months.
right.
If you're
I didn't
talking
think
about
about.
the actual process, I'm so sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, that you're right. You're exactly right. So, Tyler, what do you mean, brother? Like, do you mean like getting fitted for your prosthetic, or actually, like she said, the logistics of getting like insurance to be able to get your first appointment at your prosthetist? So we'll wait for him in just a second. But
'Cause I can say outright, if, say, the world aligns and, there's rainbows and sparkles, and the prosthetic doctor is able to see you, every week, and everything's been okayed, you could have a leg within 2 weeks. I mean, I've seen it
oh
happen. It is rare. It
yeah,
is
for sure.
absolutely rare. But say, like, I was set up at this one point where I had everything okayed. I can't remember if it was COVID or something, and I wasn't able to go in. So everything was pre-processed. And then we went in, and he was like, I don't have anybody coming in to see me. Let's book you every week. And then he got me in a couple times a week. And I
Nice.
had a new leg fitted, everything
All
within a
right.
couple of weeks. And so I would say probably 3 weeks is the fastest I've ever had it done. But I mean, literally, the stars aligned, the planets came together. It was like, put that under,
Three
never
people
happens.
canceled, and it was like,
Yes.
they come on
Yes.
in, Tammy, we got you, dear, and
Yes.
the clouds parted. And
It's true. It's absolutely true. I hit the lucky numbers that day. So,
nice.
yeah. But
That is
realistically,
awesome.
it takes months.
Yeah, that's what he was asking, is the logistics part of it. Man, I mean, it all depends. I mean, your doctors have to do what's called placing an order, and once they place an order, that means they basically send it over to. Well, at that point, you can pick your choosing. You can pick your prosthetist, if you want to. A lot of times, they'll have somebody already in mind set up for you. But and then a lot of times, when you're in the hospital itself, you'll have different prosthetic places come and visit you. And, I've had Hanger Clinic, Bulow, I had several others hit me up, but also knew other amputees, and they were like, "Go here. Just please, hands down, go here. That's where you want to go. Trust me." And that's where I went, and I've never looked back. I've always been at that same place. But as far as the logistics end of it, once they place their order, it can be anywhere from, a week to 2 weeks roughly. And then, so by the time you get cleared for your prosthetic to the time you're actually sitting in a prosthetist office, you're probably looking at about a month and a half, roughly. About 2 months, month and a half, something like that. Month and a half is kind of shooting it low. So
And that's if you don't fall through the cracks. To be perfectly honest, I think too
yeah,
many of us do. Too many of
yeah,
us do not. We don't stand up for ourselves, especially if you're from, say, you're older and you're, starting out where you're at a skilled nursing facility or something to that effect,
Yeah.
make sure you and your family are advocating for yourselves, because you will fall through the cracks. And it's so sad to see that it happens to us way too often.
Yep. I'm a huge, huge, huge component for self-advocacy. If
Yes.
something is wrong, tell them. Don't tell other people and let them tell them for you. You tell them. Call and make sure. Sit on the phone for 45 minutes if you got to. It don't matter.
Tell them, tell their mother, tell their brother, tell their cousins, tell their nieces, tell their nephews, tell everyone in
100%.
that line, every single
Yep.
one of them, so that at least someone is going to finally hear you.
Yeah. Yep. Because if not, then you're going to get stuck with whatever dummy leg they give you and just be like it just give it time, work with it, again, work with it at home a little bit, and you'll be just fine, pal. We got you. Yeah. No, you got to speak up. You got to, ever the slightest little thing goes wrong, tell them. I don't care what it is. Well, it's not so bad. Every time I step, it just kind of kicks to the left and digs in below my knee there. Okay, tell them, let them know everything, every little creak and movement it makes that you don't like. Tell them.
Agreed. Absolutely agree.
I can't say that enough. Like you said, I can't say that enough. Exactly right.
Yeah, because what
It
seems so little to us is not little. It,
No,
it affects every other part of our bodies, and we just don't realize it at the time.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And like we were saying with the hips and the joint and the back and the shoulders, it all connects. So if one thing
Yeah.
goes wrong down there with that, then it's gonna just continue to go all the way up. So it's just kind of a toss up. Is anybody at your prosthetist office an amputee themselves?
No, they have not been there like 30 plus years in the business and stuff like that. But my very first prosthetic doctor, his father was. And so he would come in, and I think that made such a huge difference, especially being a kid, seeing somebody, especially after having that terrible therapy session, someone that knew and they understood. And so that was absolutely wonderful. And I think we need more physical therapists to get into this field that are
Oh, for sure.
amputees.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They don't pay enough for us. Trust me, I know this, but we still need to get into the field.
Yeah. Sadly. I mean, I kind of chuckle, but it's not funny at all by any stretch of
No,
the
it's just
imagination.
the sadness of how true it is. You kind of laugh at it.
Yeah. I mean, look at the pay scale of less, more meaningless jobs versus people that actually help people.
Yes,
And it's like
yes.
that's
You
something will
don't
tell
need
you
to
is
name any names,
seriously
but
wrong.
yes, yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, anyway, yeah. We won't get off on a rant about that.
Right, right. Moving on. Okay.
Let's see, Deerfield said something here. Let me look at what he got. Let's see, there it is. There's a guy that was in really bad car wreck on his bike. He plays music and had to go through a lot. I forgot his name. He was awesome. It was an awesome story. Um, oh no.
Um, the guy from Def Leppard that lost one arm. I That's the only
Oh,
one I could think
yeah,
of.
I did a video on him actually. Steve, I can't remember his name now. I want to say Steve Jones, but that's the guy from.
Is I'm hoping that's who he's talking about. There's also
No, not
the
him. Who's
lead the lead singer from the Alien Ant Farm is a double amputee, which I thought was really, really. I know that's not most people's genre of music, but when I found that out, I thought that was fabulous. In his Smooth Criminal video, you can actually see both his prosthetics as he's walking along the little pathway.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
I'm like a huge fan of those guys. Like, I mean, from way back in the day.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, and I,
crazy.
I when I realized that, because I loved the video and I watched it and watched it, and I'm like, he's an amputee. And I went and I looked up his background. They were on a tour bus accident that double amputated him.
I remember that. I remember their
Yes.
accident. I didn't know that he lost his legs though.
Yep.
I remember well, then that must have been what happened then, because there was a guy that was actually he was in the very, very top bunk, and he got ejected from the actual bus itself. Like, there was, like, a little sliding window kinda thing,
Uh-huh.
and it was just big enough for him to actually go out of, and the bus actually rolled over on top of him. I remember for a while, a lot of people thought he died,
He died. Yeah.
but yeah, no, he apparently he lost his legs. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I didn't know.
I
Alright,
know
I'm
the
gonna be
little
going
things
back
you
and
kind of know.
watching
I know.
Smooth
Sorry.
Criminal later on.
The little things you kind of notice. Like I look for it when people are walking. I look for certain gaits, and as you can tell, I'm very, bold and bright. My legs are very
Yeah,
bold and bright, and I am not above going up to you and being like, "Hey, are you an amputee? You know, are you part of the club?" Any type of
yeah,
thing like that. I mean, I wear a pullover that says, "Before you ask, a zombie ate my leg." So
nice. Um, I always see people like, like I said, if I'm at the grocery store or something like that, and I see somebody walking with like, a boot on, like they messed up their ankle or something, I'll just kind of walk past them, and be like, "Hey, I'll trade you," and they'll just be like, and then just kind of keep walking, like,
that
it's
was
like
funny.
seriously, like, hey man, I got a good attitude about it. You can laugh too. It's okay. I'm not gonna get mad at you.
Yeah, the only thing I get a little like closed off about is anytime they're like, Did you serve?" And I always feel so awful because I'm like, no, I didn't lose it that way, whatnot. But I always feel, kind of like this small when I get asked that,
That
I'm just like,
yeah, I was gonna
I
ask you
did
about
not,
that.
but I am so pleased that you did.
Yeah, yeah. That's always a tough one.
Yeah.
I try to be like not I don't know, not an asshole about it, don't try to be like that, but at the same time, just you feel bad by saying, "No, I didn't serve, I'm sorry,"
I don't know why either.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like, well, now I feel bad. I was literally just grocery shopping, and now I feel, like, horrible because I didn't serve in the military. Thanks, man, appreciate that.
like it should have been more worth it to lose the leg,
Yeah. I was looking for cornflakes, now I'm depressed.
right?
Let's see. What does anybody else had to say here? Everybody just kinda chatting. Right on. So, I mean, being that young, how do you handle that mentally? Does that I mean, is it the whole, like, "Oh, I'm seeing other kids playing out the window, and I'm sitting in my room having to, watch TV." You weren't like that. I wouldn't imagine you being like that. No. Yeah. Come on.
No,
I mean,
no,
yeah.
I
This isn't Lifetime Network. I mean,
I was one of those kids that I was a social butterfly even before, I knew every neighbor. I never met a stranger kind of a thing. Um, and I learned how to do wheelies in my wheelchair. I was out and about. I mean, I had friends like, no, I get to push her for the first day of school. I get to push her.
nah.
It's I I didn't let that part of it get me down because everybody was just I only ran into one person who actually had a phobia about it, which I didn't realize that's what it was at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to go play. My concerns were because you're young, teenage girl. Am I ugly? Am I gonna ever find love? Am I ever gonna, those were my worries about it.
Yeah.
I've been happily married 27 years now. You will find love. Trust me, the leg disappears. They don't even notice it. If you can find somebody that truly loves you, they don't see it.
Yeah. No, it's just a leg. That's what I tell people. It's just like it hinders you very, very, very minute.
Yeah.
It's not like, life is over. It's just a leg. That's what I tell other people. It's like, look, man, it
Exactly. It is
it
not the end
control
of the
my
world, I
heartbeat.
promise.
Yeah.
It's just a chapter in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now it's a hell of a chapter. I'll say
Right.
that. And
It's a
it's a
big one.
chapter that most people don't get to live. I've got to live it 7 times, you know. So,
Right.
you know, it's rough, and chances are I'll be going back, and you know, I'll be a you know, double by the time it's all said and done, because what I have, unfortunately, it don't stop.
Right.
So it just kind of keeps on going, you know.
It just
But
makes you
we won't.
stronger.
Yeah, you know, we
Makes
don't
you
really get
stronger.
into that. Um, that's awesome. That's great, man. So, I mean, what are some of the things you've done? I mean, you've have you set any goals? Any kind of you've been hiking? You've been doing any kind of like awesome
Okay,
stuff like
so
that?
I have done all those things. I mean, like I love to rollerblade. I can't roller skate to save my life, but I can
Mhm.
rollerblade.
Nice.
um, my biggest challenge, I will have to say, is the gym. I can't afford, like most people, to get a personal trainer. I don't know the first thing about a gym. I don't know about the first thing about how to use the equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know what my actual limitations should be as an amputee for the weights, for the, leg days, for those kinds of things. I finally signed up for a gym actually this last week, and I'm going to start going next week. And supposedly, I get to have a free consult with a personal trainer just to get me on track, which I'm hoping that will help tremendously, because that's my thing, is I'm not as active as I should be.
Nice. Nice. I mean, not that part. The part that you know you're going to be moving forward with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, don't let it scare you.
No.
That was
No.
my problem. The gym scared me.
Yeah.
Just like,
See,
the
that
most
was the thing
vulnerable.
I was really, really excited to talk to you about, because you've been an amputee for so long. It's not like, you
Mhm.
know, everybody I talk to, you know, I help people kind of deal with getting used to their new normal, that kind of thing, you
Right.
know. Well, for you, this is just normal. This isn't it, there is no new about it.
This
It's
is,
just this
yeah.
is I'm Tammy. This is who I am. I got one leg, and you know, hey, here I am. And I love that, you know, but I've never really got to pick anyone's brain who's been through it like for so long, you know. So,
Yeah, my
I
my
mean,
kids, they'll ask me, they're like, "Do you remember what it's like even having a leg, mom?" And I'm like, "No."
yeah,
Because it's
I mean
it's a
that's a
simple
legit
one. No, I
question.
don't. They're like, "Could you, if you could grow it back, would you?" And at this point, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I've had it for so long that it's my normal.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You just get used to it for so long, you know. I mean, I've only been this way for right at about 5 years, and it's I can't really remember the way it used to be. It's just kinda
right?
this just kinda became who I am, you know? I don't
It has
remember
its
the last
flaws
time I
and its
stepped on my
dramas and it's, it's things, but it
yeah. Nope.
nope,
Thanks.
there we go. Lose me for a
There
second.
you are.
Sorry about that.
We got you back. Alright, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, good deal. But, I mean, yeah. So so you've been, like, down to the beach and stuff like that? You've been in, like, into the ocean and all that with a prosthetic, you know? Because the reason I say that, everybody else here is just like, "You've been to the beach. Who cares?" You know, I've been to the beach 1,000 times. Try walking on the beach
Try
with a
walking in the
prosthetic leg,
sand.
okay? I don't wanna hear it. Everybody's like, "Who cares?" They're literally sitting there talking about going on the beach. Who gives a shit? No, 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 no.
No, no, no.
Give that a try.
No, so I will call up my prosthetic doctor and say, "Hey, I'm going to the beach this weekend. I will be to see you next week." Because I'm sorry, who likes to walk on the beach with their shoes on? No one. No one does. I don't like doing it. I'm sure there's others out there that don't like doing it. So you take it off and you run in the water, which of course puts sand in places that you couldn't think you could even remotely believe there could be sand.
Yep.
And You come out of the water, and as it's sloshing huge amounts of water outside the leg holes from every individual, and then you take it off and you turn it upside down, and all this sandy water comes pouring out of the back. And then your leg doctor has to take that little foot shell off.
That fills up.
And it fills with sand and rock and shell. And so you're walking around crunching and clicking and
Yeah. That right there will fill up. That's exactly what she's talking about, is that fills up,
yes.
and this right here becomes like 300 pounds. It feels like it's made of solid concrete.
And the sand is abrasive on the stump if you get it in that liner too.
Oh man, yeah, it's so like you got to be very careful.
Talk about extra exfoliation, because yeah.
Yeah, and I've even tried like with my forearm crutches, that kind of stuff, and sand is just our enemy. That's just the way it is.
Baby
I
powder.
mean,
Baby powder. Get out of the sand, dry off, let yourself dry off, and then you just baby powder everything and the sand just comes right off.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey,
Let
there we
yourself
go.
dry first, though, with the sand on, and then baby powder, though.
I
You don't want
got
to be a
you.
big walking dough ball.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in Nashville, so we don't not a whole lot of beaches around here, but when we do go back, I'll definitely be on that for sure. Cause yeah, that's like I said, I ask people, it's like, so have you ever walked on the beach? And they're just like, and you see people in the chat be like, what? With a question mark, it's just like, trust me, just trust me.
Yeah, and the deeper the sand, and the more just loose it is, the harder it is. Oh my god! Like you're falling, you can't get any grip. Your leg keeps sinking in. It's just, oh man, yeah. It's one of those I love you, hate you kind of things.
Yeah, it's very, very unforgiving.
Yes.
I've seen a couple people asking, have you got back on a bike? Have you
I'm
rode
honest.
motorcycles?
I have not driven since, but I have ridden since.
Okay.
And of course, it has to be with people I really trust. And the only reason I haven't actually driven myself is because just the logistics of, not having an ankle now and all the shifting and stuff. I mean, if I wanted to get a modified bike, that wouldn't be a problem except for the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing that has stopped me from actually getting back on to drive a bike is I need it modified, and that's not cheap. So
No, like you and I would almost need but you're the left, aren't you?
I'm a right.
You're right. Okay. Well, either way, you would still almost need like the jockey shifter
Yes.
to every time, wow, and like pop it back every time to put it in gear, almost like a stick shift on a car.
Yeah.
But and I've seen a lot of people do that with like their four wheelers and stuff. The amputees that they're out there. I mean, of course, you're not going to be able to like pop it up, one down and four up or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yes.
So but they'll have that handle and it'll just be like pop, 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 and then you can see it just like you can watch it just like cycle through the gears across the thing. I was like, that is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. But I
So
mean, with
yeah,
a four wheeler, it would be different because you don't need a clutch. Like there is no clutch whatsoever on those. So, but with a motorcycle, I'm not quite sure how that would work. You would, hmm,
right. Yeah. So no, I'm not scared to drive one again. I just have not had the opportunity to do so.
yeah,
So
I got you. Very, very cool. Yeah, everybody was curious about that. I seen several people asking. It's like, so you got back on a motorcycle? Or?
that's the number two question I usually get.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you want to see people like kind of, you know, not necessarily a good for you factor, but just like you want to see people face their fears. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Don't let it
That
defeat you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That thing that took you down. You want to well not let it take you down. I guess basically the thing that knocked you down, you don't want to let it take you down for good. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I still ride on the back, no hands, no, I can lean with the bike and yeah, none of that bothers me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So that there really wasn't much like mental issues from that, like PTSD or nothing like that, really.
So because I was put in a medical coma when I was little, um,
Okay.
it did this like blank out thing. Like I remember the accident, but I don't remember it being bad, I guess is what you could say. Um, I do not remember my stay in the hospital at all. None of it. And then
Okay.
I remember waking up in rehab.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I guess that's the safety thing as your kid's brain does when it's in that type of traumatic, situation. So my brain kind of just did it for me. So I didn't have to really worry about those things.
Wow. That would be just so I couldn't imagine that, especially at a young age, it's just like wake up in a total a literal "where the hell am I" kinda state,
Mhm.
and oh my
It's the
god, being
one
that
and
that
only
young.
time I cried over my leg. Because,
You say that
you
again,
wake
I'm
up.
so sorry.
I said it's the one and only time I've ever cried over my leg.
Right.
And I woke up and the lady, the poor nurse, she's like, I have to do a dressing change on your leg. And I'm like, why? What's wrong with my leg?
Mhm.
And so she had to actually show it to me for the first time. And that was a little shocking. But then I was like, my dad was like, nope, it's time to get up and get over it and get moving forward because you're too young to, do anything else. I said,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough for a lot of people. It's just like, "Come on, get up, you can do this," but it's rough, man, when you don't.
And it's hard. And especially the older you get, it's
Yeah,
it's not easy to be, words are words, actions are a whole nother thing.
yeah,
And I've been in those depressed states where I'm like, some days I'm just like, it's just not coming together, it's just not working, I just can't do this, I don't want to do this anymore. I go through those times, but ultimately I don't want to be stuck in my bed, I don't want to be stuck in a wheelchair, I don't
yeah.
need to be.
No, I had a moment right after. I mean, because I started out as a below knee and then went above knee. Like I said, I've had 7 amputations altogether and, just kinda keeps going up, and there will be more. But, my first day, I got my socket and everything, and I was running late for work, and I was trying to get my liner on and everything. It wasn't going right. I got my leg on, and my foot was kicked, like, completely over to the side. I was trying to get it, like, lined up because, like I do, it's hard to get your foot adjusted. You don't just kinda slip into it and off you go. You
Right.
gotta kinda, like, put your foot and make sure your feet are, lined up like
Same
they should
direction.
be.
Yeah.
And, I was having trouble trying to figure out. I mean, now I could just, like, slip my leg in and it's just, like, tighten it up. I have the BOA system, you're ready to roll. But with this guy right here, I've literally, which you probably can't see it anymore, but this dude, um, I had, I was running late for work and nothing was working right. I was having, a panic attack already. I'd already had one that morning. I literally took my leg and just slung it across the room. I was just like, mother, I was just screaming, just fuck her, just like, my wife was just like, and it was so loud, and there's been several of those, those moments where it just kind of, it really, really, really gets to you, and it builds
Yes.
up,
Yes.
and you have those
Absolutely.
moments and it snaps in you, and yeah, you end up breaking parts on a very expensive leg and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Your doctor's like, did you have a tantrum today? Oh wait, maybe that's
Yeah,
just my doctor. Yeah, I've
yeah,
had a few of
and
those.
I'd be like, "Yeah, shut up, leave me alone." And mine would just be like, "I got you. I'll be right back."
Yeah, mine too. He's just like, okay, well, that
Yeah,
is what it is.
noob. Well, that's awesome. Well, right on, man. I'm so glad that you came and hung out with us and talked to us tonight and just, sit and just kind of BS with us, you know. Like I said, I send everybody the questions ahead of time and just kind of, you know, these are the things we're going to be talking about. But a lot of stuff, you know, we kind of covered just in conversation, you know, so we
Yeah.
didn't really have to be like, all right, guest, now here's a question, you answer, question, you answer. We didn't have to do any of that, you know, we'd kind of just kind of sit here and rap. So, you know, I would love for you to come back and hang out with us and just, I mean, you're welcome back anytime you want to come back on the show and just sit and do basically what we're doing right now. Just kind of, you know,
Oh, I
two
would
one
love
leggers
that.
hanging
That'd be
out.
great. I could co-host. Yeah.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down.
Okay.
Absolutely. What I do is like I'll have like next season, I'll have, you know, I like having everybody back that was on previous seasons, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that again. Like me and my buddy Osmic, we co-hosted the Halloween special. And we didn't even really we talked about a few amputee kind of base things, but for the most part we talked about just scary movies and ghosts and, you
Nice.
know, just weird phenomena, that kind of stuff. Just had fun with it. We're like, we're gonna take a break with it and just kind of, we're just gonna have fun, you know. And that's what we did, and people really seemed to love it. They had a good time. But that was the episode, yeah, the Halloween episode, so the 29th of last month. But I want to extend a huge, huge thank you for coming and hanging out with us and just being a part of the show and, you know, all that good stuff. I have one question that I like to ask everybody towards the end of the, or, you know, at the end here. And that question is if you, Tammy, could tell yourself, like as a child, you're laying there, you know, well, yours was kind of sudden or whatever, but if you could tell yourself as a child, look, uh, get ready for this because this is going to be, you know, not necessarily the big giant things like, oh, walking up steps and that kind of thing, the small little things, that kind of thing. What is advice you would give yourself? It's like, look, kid, I really, really wish somebody would have told me this, but now I have the opportunity to tell you this. So fill in the blank.
Mine would have to be patient because not everything is going to be, you know, you see in movies, oh, we're so advanced and it's so sci-fi and it's so we get to use those things when realistically, unless you're a millionaire, that's not going to happen.
No.
And so we need just to be patient because we do get to try out some of the coolest things and you know, sometimes we just have to wait for others to catch up to our ideas. And what
Yeah.
our ideas of prosthetics is a lot different than what reality is for at least some of us I know. And just be patient. It will be okay. You will get to do the cool light up leg. You will get to do the cool charms on it. You will get to do the cool noise making. I mean, just keep throwing your ideas out there because someone's gonna pick it up and be like, I can do that.
Yep.
So
Nice. I love that. Man, I love that. See, that's the attitude. That's the attitude you got to have, man. You know, that's what I always tell people. I go see people in the hospital and talk to them and stuff. And I'm like, you know, look, do what you're doing right now. Have your pity party. Be sad. You know, you deserve to be sad. You
yeah,
deserve to be down and feel your leg and be like, "Oh my god." And absorb that impact of what just happened. You know, that's part of your journey and I am no by no means going to stand here and be like, "Get over it. You're going to be just fine, pal." No, I'm going to tell you go, you're fine. You're gonna, you know, this is normal. Please, by all means, cry, be sad, be upset,
your
scream, yell,
feelings are
curse.
valid. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because that is the brain's way of trying to grab on and figure out what in the hell just happened and kind of the magnitude and the gravity of exactly what is going on, you know, because the brain's still thinking, oh, we're fine, everything's good. And you're like, no, it's not, you know. So you're having a battle with your own mind trying to tell yourself and that's where like PTSD and that kind of thing comes in is, you know,
Yeah.
conflicting thoughts, you know, and
Just
it's
don't let
literally
it be your stopping point. There's
No.
so much more to do and so much more that you can learn about and educate and find some of the most quirky people who, are like me, who
Yeah.
I want to peacock the leg. I want to make sure everybody sees it because it's me and I love it, and I try to use it as an artistic type of, accessory now. So
Yeah.
it can be a lot of fun.
You have a really, really cool casting. Would you mind showing us like
Oh,
your socket that you have? Hers is awesome. Look at that. Is that not the coolest thing ever? It's like I don't know if it's what is it? Is it eyes I'm looking at?
it's peacocks. It's peacock feathers, rainbow
I
peacock feathers.
see.
And then I have rhinestones that go around it and each of the eyes. And then underneath, I don't know if I can say the bad word or not, but it's 100% that bee is what it says.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you
And
can say
so,
it's that
okay,
bitch.
yes, it's 100% that bitch. And so it's totally my personality, and it does a little bit of a sparkle in the sunlight. And, if you have ideas for your prosthetic doctor, take in all kinds of fabrics, take in all kinds of charms, take in all these
Mm.
kinds of things, because sometimes they can do some really neat stuff with it. Like I had one that lit up one time. Every time I stepped, it would blink.
Oh
So,
wow.
yes. So, if you've got a doctor who's excited and wanting to work with you, you can do some really neat stuff.
Nice. See, I love this. I don't find very many people that get excited about prosthetics. Everybody
I
else is
do.
kind of like, yeah, I got a prosthetic leg. I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess. Anyway, next question.
Right.
You're like, and
Yeah,
I
no.
had one that grew in the dark and it had lights, and I would step down and it made farting noises, and it was so awesome. See,
I
I
mean,
love that.
the
I
more
love that because
sparkle and shine, and the more, because if somebody's going to look at it anyway, which they're always going to, it's something different and new for them. I want them to look at it and be like, damn, that's cool.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You want
So,
people to be like, I want people to look at it and stare at it in a very positive light, not
yes.
just like kind of freaked out and wondering what in the hell is that? This is weird.
If I could get a
'Cause
see-through one, I would totally wear that, but they haven't figured out a way to make that one yet.
well, we have our test sockets and stuff, but I mean that
Yeah.
would snap pretty quick.
Yeah.
That test socket. I don't even know what it is. Acrylic, I guess. I'm not even sure
It's
what
an
that is,
acrylic. It's
but
not strong enough to hold, but
yeah.
yeah, if they could figure that out, I would have so many cool things going on. I'd be like one of them lava lamps and one of the
Oh yeah, with like the glitter that floats around like inside of it. Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
got some ideas. I just got to be patient because they just haven't caught up to my ideas yet.
see, you need to get with a processors company and like say, hey, look, I've got ideas, man. You could even have like something to where it's like, okay, you have the carbon fiber socket. I don't know if this will show up, but say you have your carbon
Uh-huh.
fiber socket, and then between that is another layer of like acrylic on the outside, and between that is like some kind of,
And
you
then you could
know,
fill it like with a syringe or something and then cap the hole.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
it'd be just like a thin layer between, our carbon fiber that we all have, and then like right there, and then yeah, just that thin membrane right there. Dude, weird. Hey.
That
Ka-ching.
I'm
That's
copywriting
big
that.
money right there. Well, Miss Tammy, I greatly appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. You've been one of the coolest guests we've ever had. I'm not just
Oh,
saying that.
thank you.
Yep. And I hope you definitely come back and hang out with us.
Absolutely.
And you're welcome back anytime. And we may even do it a lot sooner than sooner than later. So
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You just let me know.
right on, right on. Okay, well I'm gonna drop you down. Don't go anywhere. And
Okay.
I'll get with you here in just a few minutes. Okay, give me just 1 second. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out and just hanging out with us. Let me see. I'm gonna go back up to the top again, and yeah, I want to greatly thank everybody for coming. I know that, like I said, this isn't really something that you guys are really applies to you kind of thing, but you guys come and ask questions and get involved. And, even though I'm not really like watching chat a whole lot, I'm trying to kind of more or less focus on, asking questions and being more accurate and that kind of thing. Um, I truly appreciate you guys coming and just being a part of the show and talking to us. And, again, just overall being here and being a part of things. And, with that, it means a whole lot to me. And, I know the guests appreciate it, and it's definitely it shows me that I am doing something right, and with this show, we're definitely helping people, and yeah, that speaks volumes in my opinion, anyway. So with that, I want to thank Deerfield, Jeff Weiss, Witch from the Past, Miss Bell, Janie AR-15, Carolina Cowboy. Let me see, scrolling down here, and let's see, I said Witch from the Past. All right. Nitro Freak, Chainsaw Abuse Fridge, Janie AR-15, Jim with No Filter, Red Dog, my brother. Good seeing you. Let's see. So I believe, yeah. Oh, Possum Smiles. Good seeing you. Thank you all for coming, every one of y'all. Dirk's Cabinet Door. Thought I saw Deckery in here earlier. Ralph, good seeing you. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming. I know we had some new people in tonight. That was really, really awesome. Damon Conlon, good seeing you, brother. I appreciate you coming. Who else did we have? Let's see. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just kind of scrolling down, scrolling back through everybody. But yeah, with that, man, I want to sincerely thank every single one of you guys for coming. Tyler, Skyro, Corliss, let me see. Yeah, a lot of the same folks. Chad, how you doing, brother? Yankees for life. Good seeing you as always. Let's see. Make my way to the bottom here. I don't want to be any rude to anybody and not say the name. Griswold, always good seeing you, my brother. Miss Denise, how you doing? All right. I believe that is everybody. Gabriel L, good seeing you. Skyro, good seeing you. Chance C, good seeing you, my friend. Tattooed Teardrop. M. Ralph. All right. Let's see. Scroll back down. Ricky White, how you doing? The Judge. All right, man. Thank you guys, all y'all, for coming. If I missed anybody, I greatly apologize. But again, I want to thank every single one of you guys for coming and being a part of these things. I know I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, but I generally or genuinely appreciate you guys. So with that, I want everybody to stay happy, safe, sane, motivated. Don't look back. Don't give a flying fuck what anybody else says, because it doesn't matter. With that, I'll see you next time.